I want to welcome you to the Nuclear Engineering webinar. This is a major specific webinar that's going to discuss registration process and a couple of housekeeping tips that we have while you're creating your schedule. So thank you for joining us. Um, I am here with my Hub colleagues, and to see our Hub team, you can see everybody here. My name is Karen Lewis. I am the manager of the Hub, and you're going to meet with us during your first year. We support all freshman engineering students during your primary year here at Rensselaer. So let's get started. We have a couple of different points that we're going to go over. We're going to discuss your major template, which is the long anticipated thing, answering the question of what you're going to register for this fall and how you're going to register. We also have the transfer course process and some important dates that we want to go over with you. So the first question that a lot of students will ask us is, what is the SOE Hub? We are a team of 5 experienced advisors who split up majors among the School of Engineering, and we meet with you, as I mentioned, primarily through your first 2 semesters at RPI. We do all things academic, and we are here to support you. So after your first year here at Rensselaer, you will be transitioned over to a faculty advisor within your major, namely nuclear. So they will continue supporting you through graduation. In addition to your faculty advisor, Maine, Mechanical Aero and Nuclear have a specific staff advisor named Kate Stockton who will support you as well through that process. So you have additional support with your faculty advisor, and they will continue our process of supporting you. We have a partnership with them, and you will continue with them right through graduation. So where is the SOE Hub? We are located in the Johnson Engineering Center, aka the JEC. We always joke that there's a ton of acronyms here at RPI, so you're going to get to know them very well. But if there's ever a question, feel free to ask your Hub advisor, what does this mean? Because it can be a little confusing. We're on the 3rd floor of the JEC inside the Ansel Lounge. So we're a little bit tucked away, but the Ansel Lounge is a great space to do some studying. It's open to students. So we encourage you to come stop by and check out our space and maybe even set up camp in the lounge to study. It's a great quiet space. So these are all of the majors in the School of Engineering. So granted, you're a nuclear engineer, and we love that about you. However, we also encourage students to maintain an open mind during your first year, because sometimes you might discover an engineering major that you've never considered that might be even a different fit or a better fit for what your career goals are. And all Hub advisors talk to you about those things throughout the freshman year. So most of our major specific courses are designed in a way that they satisfy multiple majors. So you can easily switch from one major to another. So even if you have a friend who is a mechanical, for example, who's considering switching to nuclear, encourage them to meet with their Hub advisor, because a lot of times it's a seamless switch and it happens quite often throughout the first year. So this is primarily what you're going to be focusing on in the next couple of weeks, because you are going to pick out your schedule for your fall semester courses. Usually we will meet with you, or we can discuss this during our drop-in sessions, which are posted on our website. And I'm going to show you our website later, but primarily you're going to focus on the fall semester of your first year when you're picking out courses for registration. On the right-hand side of this screen is our Excel sheet, which is also on our Hub website. And we really encourage you to use the Excel sheet, because before the end of your freshman year, we're going to lay out course semester specifics for the entire 4 years. So the Excel sheet's a great planning tool for that. But primarily you're focusing on the template, which you can download off our website. And these are the courses that you're going to focus on. Now, if you have AP, IB, transfer credits, dual enrollment, anything that might impact you registering for some of these classes, that's when you're generally going to talk to your Hub advisor about optional or other options. But generally, Calculus 1, if you have credit for it, you just register for Calculus 2. Physics 1, you could register for Physics 2. So those are the things that we generally would advise, but if you have additional questions about it, those are the things we're here to support you about. Whoop, sorry about that. Okay, moving forward. I don't know how to change that. I have to go back. Okay, so additionally, we have another resource. Again, the link is on our website, and it's called Quacks, like the duck Quacks. This is a schedule creating software that our ARCOS team, which is our computer science students on campus, have built. This is not sponsored by RPI. However, all RPI students use Quacks to create their schedules. And I will show you a little bit about Quacks later on, but ultimately when you create a schedule, it would look something like this. And the numbers that appear at the bottom of the screen of your Quack screen are called CRNs, which stand for course registration numbers. When you create a schedule in Quacks, you're going to use the numbers that are furnished on the bottom to apply towards SIS. And SIS is where you're actually going to register for your courses. And what that looks like is here. So the first thing you want to do while you're setting up your accounts, make sure you have access to SIS. The first thing you will do before anything else is you want to double check that you have a time ticket to actually register. All students will register on July 10th, but the time is what's unique. So in order to do that, you're going to log into SIS and you're going to go to the student menu, and then you're going to be presented with a menu that looks like this. The first thing you would do is check your registration status. That is where you're going to find your time ticket. July 10th is when you'll register, whether you register at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 12 p.m., it's all unique to the student. So you want to determine what specific time you're registering and bookmark that or set alarms and make sure that you are able to log into SIS to register right when your window opens. The bullet right below it, the register add drop bullet, is what you're going to do in order to register for your classes. But before you even do that, there's another button you're going to want to click, and that's your financial responsibility agreement. This is just a statement that you're going to have to clear every semester saying you're going to pay your bill. And in order to register for your classes, you have to do this. You have to clear this before you proceed. So clicking on financial responsibility agreement, you can actually do that right now. So we encourage you to do that. So when you go to register, you don't have any holds on your account, because that would put a hold on your account if you don't clear that agreement. So then once all of that is finished, you can actually register for your classes. And you could do that by looking in the class search option, which is right in that same student menu. And that's where you're going to find all of your classes. There will be a drop-down menu that you could choose the sections and based off of the template to find certain courses. And again, you're going to find multiple screens. We host a bunch of different webinars that walk through this process, and there's actually a video online that you could see a student physically registering for their classes. Sometimes it's more helpful to see the actions rather than just looking at them on screens. So I really encourage you to go to our website to check that so you could see the specifics of how to register for your classes. But you're going to see various things on the main screen that shows you if a course is labeled as SR, that means that there's seats remaining in that section. So that would be something that you could register for. If a course is labeled with a C, that means it's a closed section and you're going to want to find an alternative course. You also can find out a little bit more about the course in the attribute section over on the side. And this box right here actually will show you how many seats are remaining in a specific class. So if you look at the menu at the top, it's capacity, actual student enrollment, and then how many seats are remaining. So in this example for Science, Tech, and Society, there are 38 seats remaining in that particular section. Now, as I mentioned before about the CRNs appear on Quacks but they also appear in SIS class search. And you can find that same course number multiple times throughout that. And again, that is the number that you're going to use to physically register for those classes. So when your registration time window opens, when you click on that register add drop screen, there's going to be, I know these are kind of faint, but there's boxes that will appear on the screen. You will enter your CRNs in each one of these boxes, and that's physically how you're going to register for your classes. Once you've entered all of your CRNs, you're going to hit the Submit Changes button. And if you do receive an error, and there's an example of an error right here, this one says there's a time conflict, that means that the course that you inquired about, you were not registered for, and you're going to have to find an alternative. Hub staff is going to be on call throughout the registration process to assist with any of these issues. So it's really important that you have your WebEx account set up in order to connect with us during the registration process. So now we have a couple of other things that I want to talk to you about prior to registration. One of them being a very hot topic because so many students bring credits to RPI. You can have AP credit, IB credit, Cambridge level A exams, and dual enrollment. There's many more. So yesterday we hosted a webinar pertaining to the transfer credit process. We have that posting, that recording on our website, so you can refer back to it if you have questions that aren't covered in this particular webinar. But primarily the rule is act on getting your credits here as soon as possible. This goes over the requirements. So for your class year, you needed 4 or 5 in your AP credits to get that score. You're going to request the score from College Board and have the scores sent to RPI. If you have a 4 or 5, you will get credit for the exam that you took. Same thing with IB, you're going to have a transcript sent to RPI and Cambridge as well. Now, dual enrollment, and a lot of students are doing dual enrollment nowadays, is a little bit different because you're not only going to have to contact the college that you did the dual enrollment class with, but you're also going to have to get a transfer credit form signed by an administrator in your high school. So there's 2 steps to complete that process. You're going to have to get the transcript to come to RPI, and you're also going to have to submit the form signed by a high school official verifying that you took the course and it was not part of your graduation requirements. So this is a little bit more labor intensive, and we encourage you to act on it as soon as possible. Any high school administrator can sign the form, and you also need to have passed the class with a C- or better in order to get credit. One more thing to note about dual enrollment: if you are taking a course that is not approved by RPI, even if you receive credit from that college institute, that credit might not be able to be applied towards the curriculum here. So all courses have to be evaluated and approved to receive credit. And if you have questions, you can always ask your hub advisor about that. Now, some of you students are very ambitious and are taking courses this summer. If you do that, you let us know because we can walk you through the transfer credit approval process. It's a different form, and you would also have to send the transcript at the end of the semester to RPI in order to have those credits come through. Now, a lot of you might not have your credits here by the time you register. If that's the case, we will be sending out a survey that's going to collect that data, and we want you all to fill that out. So that survey is going to come out next week. Please look for it in your RPI email, and you can also put your questions in SOE Hub at rpi.edu in email form, include your RIN and your major, or you can even put them in the chat in WebEx. So ultimately, our deadline is the end of freshman year. All credits need to be transferred in. However, if you're planning on using those credits actively, definitely in STEM courses like physics and calculus, you're going to want to act on getting those here ASAP. That means that we're going to prioritize getting them before the fall semester begins. And the reason why is just because it makes your registration process that much smoother. And it also makes us advisors understand exactly what your curriculum entails. So don't wait until the end of the year to transfer all of your credits in. And if you have questions about whether or not the course even applies towards your curriculum, transfer it anyway, because we can sort that out once it gets here. Just do it because you might not realize it can be applied towards a free elective or a different elective in your curriculum, even if it's not a named course that's on your template. So now we have a couple of important dates coming up. Your tickets for registration, your time ticket was assigned on June 24th. So if you haven't logged into SIS, like I mentioned earlier in the student menu to check your registration status, I encourage you to do that now. And right now, during this week and next week is our consultation period where you have the opportunity to meet with an advisor one-on-one on one of our drop-ins scheduled days. That also is listed on our website. And then we're going to have the big registration on July 10th. Now, like I said, that's going to be specific to your time ticket when on July 10th you will register. And the registration window stays open through the 16th. I don't recommend you waiting until like the 14th to register for your classes. This is a little bit of a rat race, and the competition to get into certain sections, certain courses is pretty high. So we all encourage you to register right when your time ticket opens on the 10th. And then the first day of class is Wednesday, August 28th, which we will already know you by then, so that will be awesome. And we have an add drop deadline. So what that is during the first 2 weeks of the semester, we give you the opportunity to kind of try on your classes to make sure that they're a good fit for you. If you ended up using credit for Calc 1 and you're in Calc 2, and during those first 2 weeks you find yourself completely lost, get in touch with a hub advisor because we can work it out that we could put you back into Calc 1 and have you in more familiar territory and reinforce the foundation you learned in high school. Or even if you're in a Haas class and you're like, I really don't like this class, or this class doesn't really work for my schedule, we can make those adjustments with you. You can, of course, do them independently during that 2 week window, but you know that the hub advisors are here to support you with any questions you have. So that add drop period ends on September 13th. So we really want you to have a finalized schedule officially by September 13th. So this is basically our website, and you're going to see that in just a minute. I'm going to show it to you. But we have our website as a resource for you at all times. All registration materials are on our website. We also have our YouTube channel, which hosts all of our recordings. Now, we post those recordings for the webinars on our website as well, but if you wanted to look at previous years or any other programs that we've offered previously, you can find those on our YouTube channel. We also are very active on social media, so follow us on Instagram. We have posts daily. We have Manny Mondays, which is something that all of our students really enjoy. So I hope you'll check it out. I'm not going to give too much information about it. So that's going to be the close of this part of the presentation. But one thing I do want to offer is showing you specifically how to log into our website, how to find our website, and also a little bit more about Quacks because a lot of students have some questions about that. So if you Google SOE Hub, this is the first thing that comes up, and it just so happens that that is our website. So if you click on it, this is going to bring you to that same screen that you saw in our presentation. Now, we're still hosting our rising sophomores because we are a first year hub, and we will be sending them off into their faculty advisors at the end of August. So they have a button here, but you're going to prioritize clicking on the class of 2028. Now, the class of 28 resources begin. Here are all of our virtual drop-in advising sessions. Now, we just had a team meeting and decided that we're probably going to offer more. So this is probably going to change. So check back frequently. And I encourage you to really bookmark our page. Now you can sign up here during any time where it's actually open. The form is not open right now because we don't have an advising session currently. So make sure you prioritize signing up during one of those scheduled times. And if you're not active on WebEx, you need to prioritize doing that because we contact you via WebEx to meet with us and we give you the meeting link as a direct message. So make sure you set up your WebEx account. And if you have any questions about those things, you can find the answers here. How do I log into WebEx to connect with my advisor? You go in and that's how you do it. Now, the big one here is how do I register for all of my fall courses? Registration opens and then you're going to see the step-by-step instructions. So that's going to be where you're going to look to actually learn about the registration process. This next bullet is actually talking about creating your schedule. So this is what I was kind of talking about earlier, where you can find your major specific templates. You can also find the Excel stuff. Everything could be downloaded to your computer. We have a link here for that Quack scheduling software just to make things a little bit easier for you. We also have that video that I referred to of a student physically registering for classes. So that should help you kind of understand what you're going to see through the registration process. And you're going to see information about transfer, AP, everything that we talked about previously. Now, additionally, we have our webinar schedule. So right now we are here with the nuclear webinar on Thursday. So once this recording is official, we will be posting it here. So if you missed any of our webinars and you're still interested in learning more about what we've been talking about, you can always access the recordings right on this page as well. So that's pretty much everything at this point that the nuclear engineers would need for registration. Does anybody have any questions? You could put them in the chat. I'm happy to answer them. And if you, like I said, if you do have questions after this webinar is finished, you can always email us at soehub@rpi.edu, or you can even throw them in the WebEx chat.
Karen, a common question that comes up is if a student's an athlete and they see a block maybe later on in their schedule, like at 6 o'clock, usually a test block, how do they approach that? What should they do?
That's a great question. And it is a question that does come up a lot. If you're an athlete, you have been told specifically to leave your schedule open between 4 and 7, usually for practice times. Physics is one of the popular ones. Computer science might also be another one that has a test block that conflicts with that time frame. So primarily when you get your schedule and you get your syllabus at the beginning of the semester for that course, it's going to tell you the test outlines. And you're going to go to your coach and you're going to inform them that I have 3 exams between 6 and 7:50 on Tuesdays for physics, and these are the dates that I have them. And coach will work around that with you. They understand that you obviously have to show up for your your physics exam. So if any of those come up and you have questions about whether it's a test block or not, we can answer that for you, but we also have a resource called Class Hour Schedule, which we will post in the chat. So that's something that you can definitely look into if you have questions. If if we don't have any questions, that's fine too. Like I said, we're always available through business hours. If you message us at 2 in the morning, we might not respond until the following day. So just keep that in mind as well. But we are here to support you with any questions that you have. Please make sure you check your registration time tickets and start building those schedules and have a couple in place because depending on what time you register, in the event that there's a section of math that you really wanted and it ends up being full, it would be helpful to have a backup plan for other sections that work with your existing schedule. Right. Well, if there's no more questions, I just want to thank you for coming today. And we look forward to working with you and seeing you on campus in August.